Hi, welcome back for the series on talent management, and today's lecture is on business process reengineering. So, what exactly do we understand by the term business process reengineering? But before this, I would like to give you a brief about the two terms with which this one term has been made. There are two things, one is business process and second is reengineering. What exactly is business process or process of conducting the business? Process of conducting business means it is basically the collection of various activities, tasks small to big, which together produce some value to the customer, right. For example, say a marketing in the company is a business process, wherein you start with marketing budgeting, production, then you get the products from the production department, you give some value to these products, say put some price tag to it, to take it to the market, sell the product, advertise the product and bring in back the money. So, the whole thing starting with the identifying the need of the customer from the market, then devising a particular product strategy, then identifying the budget about this product and simultaneously likewise completing the whole process of making that product, selling that product, giving satisfaction to the customer and bringing in the money back to the company. This whole is the business process, right. So, because at the end of it what actually you are giving to the customer is benefit, satisfaction, value to the product, and in lieu to that what are you bringing back to the company? Value of the product in terms of money. So, this is the entire business process and likewise with other departments also, right. So, this is we are talking about the same business process that we have studied earlier also in principles of management or in any other subjects, say marketing or HR or finance. The second part, reengineering. Reengineering means redesigning. In a very simple crude manner we can say it is redesigning. So, where and what has to be redesigned in case of business process? If you remember well, when we talked about or whenever we have talked about strategic management, you must have read this in strategic management classes about the gap analysis. How the gap appears. The gap would appear only when the desired results do not meet the realistic result. And when this happens, obviously this is bound to reflect later on in the company's profitability, growth, productivity, which nobody wants, right. So, for this what actually whenever there is this such kind of gap appearing in your business processes, what is required by the company to do? At this point of time, company needs to rethink, reanalyze their entire business process and reconstruct the whole process from scratch again or redesign different parts wherever they find those gaps and those gaps can be filled. So, reengineering is fundamental rethinking and redesigning of the same business process from scratch to give it a total novel look, to give it a more competitive base, so as the company is able to fill that gap. Thus, if we have to define business process reengineering, we can say it is the analysis and redesign of workflows within and between enterprises in order to optimize end-to-end processes and automate non-value added tasks. Right. So, basically business process reengineering is the analysis and redesign of workflows within and between the enterprises in order to identify the performance gaps and then fill those performance gaps to improve upon the performance and growth of the organization. Moving further, now the question comes, why BPR is so important for organization, and the answer again remains the same. In order to fill the performance gaps in the organization, and that is why we say it is the radical reconstruction of a business process to achieve dramatic improvement in cost, quality, service and speed performance. That is, the desired performance should be attained, and to attain that desired performance, whatever more has to be done, whatever better has to be done in terms of acquiring better machinery, or may even in terms of replacing better human assets, both should be done. Now, the principles of re-engineering, there are 7 principles of re-engineering which are normally used in the organizations. First, organize around outcomes, not tasks. End result is more important, not the efforts. End results actually speak about the growth patterns. Efforts do not speak anything. So, the company should focus on the end result, and from the end result then there should be a back counting, there should be a moving backward in order to define the path or describe the task to undertake in order to attain that end result. Second principle, identify all the processes in an organization and prioritize them in order to redesign urgency. Right? All the processes in the organization should be identified, and then the redesigning, which has to be redesigned today, which needs to be redesigned maybe later, at the later stage also, that prioritization can be made only after all the processes, small or large, complex or easy, are identified. Because at times even the smallest, the most easiest process which we think is the most trivial one may create gaps. For example, I am giving you a small example of ITC. In ITC, in their this cigarette division, tobacco division, at the time of packaging of the cigarette, there was a time when there were lot of complaints coming from the retailers that out of a pack of 100 boxes, at least 1 or 2 were empty, found empty. There was no cigarette stick in that. And if it was done once or twice, maybe it was taken as negligible ignorance, it was ignored also. But when this became this started happening concurrently, then yes, the company actually this became a concern for the company, and people started really looking for a method how to identify that empty case out of so many boxes before packaging, right. And they started devising all the machines, they started talking to the international companies from where they could procure the packaging machines which could lessen this problem to a greater extent, but they were not getting any remedy for this. Then suddenly very old labor from the packaging department, when they came to know about this issue from the top management, so they found he came forward and he gave a very simple yet very efficient solution to this. And what he said, this is very simple. all I need is at the time of packaging the filled boxes into the crates or into the big cartons. He simply put a small electric fan over there, or simply this battery operated a small fan out there. Now, all those boxes which were empty, because they were empty, they simply blew away, because with that with the help of that fan, and the filled one remained there. Very simple solution, right. So, the point over here is that all the processes in the organization should be considered, and then based on that then only it should be decided on the basis of priority which should be redesigned, which should not be redesigned at that moment in order to enhance your performance. Next principle, integrate information processing work into real work that produces the information. Then treat geographically dispersed resources as though they were centralized. Fifth principle, link parallel activities in the workflow instead of just integrating their results. Put the decision point where the work is performed and build control into the process. And the last principle, capture information once and at the source. So, these are 7 principles of re-engineering which should be taken care of at the time of redesigning your task. Now, this is the entire business process re-engineering process, which is a 5-stage process which was given by Muthu et al. In 1999. The first stage in this is prepare for BPR. The companies, first of all, the companies need to prepare themselves for BPR, because that is something very important. Because at that time, at the time of re-engineering, at the time of redesigning, rethinking of the entire process, a lot of you can say restrictions will be created by maybe by the management or maybe by the employees, maybe by the labor unions. So many people create hurdles. So, but at the end of the day they have to overcome those things, and so in the beginning the company needs to be prepared. The top management has to take a decision, yes, they want to go for BPR. Then map and analyze as is process, right, that is what exactly is the process being followed in the company presently before BPR is implemented, what is the process. So, for this they can create activity models, they can create process models, simulate and perform ABC analysis, and then identify disconnects and value adding processes into it. Third stage is then the design to be process, that is what exactly do you want the processes to be in your company. Benchmark processes, what should be the benchmark processes, what should be the different to be processes in recruitment, in selection process, in marketing, in finance department, what processes you want to follow. Do you want to follow an automated process? Do you want to follow a manual process? Do you want to make it a centralized system? Do you want to make it a decentralized system? What process you want to follow? And perform trade-off analysis. Trade-off means the cost benefit. If you change from the present process to the future process which you want to actually do, what benefits you are going to get, how much cost you are going to incur, how much time you are going to incur, and then try and understand whether the this re-engineering thing would be beneficial for the company or not. Once you are through with everything, once the company is clear about the fact that yes, they want to go in for this kind of thing, then the implementation of re-engineering process can take place, and the result, whenever or wherever the companies have gone into re-engineering of their processes, the results have always been good only. the improvements have been seen, the improvements have been noted down, right. So, that is for sure. So, if you have decided, if the company has decided that they want to move on to the re-engineering of the entire process, overhauling of their entire system for the betterment of the company, then yes, it should be implemented, and it will lead to certainly improvement, but this improvement should not be just one time effort. That improvement should continue, right, and for this certain measures to be taken by the company, like initiate ongoing measurement, review performance against target, and improve process continuously, right. So, this was the entire business process re-engineering or BPR process, which any company can apply in their organization, and the result will only be good as it has been found by those companies which have already applied this. The technique was first of all applied to multinational corporations like IBM, Sony, General Electric, Walmart, etc., which resulted into major downsizing in the organizational structure. Now, whenever we say downsizing, we always look upon downsizing as a negative thing. No, it was not negative. Downsizing means was before BPR, because what actually happened before BPR was implemented, these multinational companies were having huge workforce size. Huge workforce size was incurring a lot of undesired cost to the company, right. So, because of BPR, because of this re-engineering process implemented in these companies, they could identify those areas where they could actually eliminate the people, and people could be maybe replaced by some machines or maybe by some robots. As a result, the overall cost of the company came down drastically. As a result, the benefits, the growth pattern improved, the financial turnover of the company improved like anything, right. As a result, the in terms of money, the company grew multifold. Following these results, then next came all the major banks like Citibank, Western Bank, Bank of America and others, SBI also. So, all these major banks, including the nationalized banks in India also, they also started overhauling their process, they re-engineering their entire process. As a result, if you remember, suddenly in our banking system the computers were introduced, then Finacle, a software called Finacle was introduced, and the integrated banking system was concept of integrated banking system was introduced. So, all these things put together, again downsizing took place, but in economic terms the value or the economic value of the you can say the benefits grew. Followed by the utility companies, the energy companies, the telecom companies, they also started using these re-engineering techniques, and today even the SMEs are also applying business process re-engineering and enjoying the benefits coming from it. Tools like SAP, BAN or various ERP systems, these are all been introduced as a part of the rethinking device or redesigning of the entire process, and this has you can say this has actually benefited the companies, right. Then so, where all this BPR can be applied. So, this is this concept is not confined to just one particular industry or one particular sector. No, this BPR can be implemented to all the firms, whether they are manufacturing firms, retailers, service oriented firms, public organizations or private sector companies. Right, but they should only satisfy certain criteria, and that criteria is that first and foremost thing, that the management should be committed to the new ways of working and innovation, and second, there should be a well formed IT infrastructure, because the BPR, because today technology is the crux of the organizational setup. Without technology you cannot dream of any company today, right. So, if you have a better can say well built IT system, IT infrastructure in the company, then yes, you can apply business process re-engineering model. You can implement these models, and you can integrate various departments into each other, and therefore, thereby you can control the entire company, right. So, apart from this, business process re-engineering could be applied to companies that are confronting certain problems like high operational costs, low quality products offered to the customers, high level of bottleneck processes at their during, especially in the season time, and this goes especially for the seasonal companies like the beverages companies. Then poor performance of middle level managers. Why middle level managers? Because these are the people who are the links, the connect between the top management and the workforce. So, if these middle level managers are poor performance, obviously they will not be able to control the workforce down the line, and they will not be able to understand and carry out the instructions given by the top management. So, that is why the middle level managers play a very key role in the progress of the company, and if their performances are poor, then yes, BPR is very essential. Then inappropriate distribution of resources and jobs in order to achieve maximum performance, right. That to a particular department a lot of resources are being provided, but to other departments there is a dry area. So, that inappropriate distribution of resources should not be done. So, if this is happening in the company, then yes, BPR is very important, so that the entire system is integrated into one. Proper redesigning, rehauling of the entire process of the all the processes of the company should be done, and then only the top management can prioritize and decide upon what facility to be given where, how many resources to be given at what point of place, right. So, if any company is facing these type of problems, then yes, for sure, even if the top management is of now not of the view that a BPR should be conducted, then also it is advised that they should implement BPR, they should go in for rehauling of the re-engineering of all their business processes, in case if they really are looking forward for growth and sustainability of the company. If not, then fine, they can do whatever they want, but but at the end of the day, we all know that no business is set up to be shut down. So, as we want to live, so the businesses also want to be sustained for a lifelong at least. So, for that BPR is required. Now, I would like to now take a small case study of Mahindra and Mahindra, their decision about implementing BPR program and the benefit that was that they got by after implementing the BPR program. So, as this case goes about Mahindra and Mahindra, The issue that was found was that let us first start with the problem. The problem was that their two plants, one at Igatpuri and other at Kandivali, were facing a lot of poor productivity problems. Long production cycles were there, suboptimal output, the quality output was not coming out. So, all in all we can say these two plants were suffering from so many manufacturing inefficiencies, and of course, this was resulting into lower productivity of the company, right. Now, when studied, the reason that was found was that there were a lot of unions in these plants, and these unions had become, over a period of time, the unions had become very strong, sort of militant, right, and the workforce was very unproductive. They did not want to perform, they did not want to work at all, right. And these non-performing workers, they have unionized also. As a result, the situation was like this, that neither they wanted to work nor they wanted anybody to stay in that those units who actually wanted to work. Now, this was basically the major problem which was coming up. Now, what to do, right. So, yeah. So, at that time the company took some initiatives. So, the first initiative was that immediate whatever was the immediate problem, that is of non-production, non-productivity and the militant unionized workforce. So, that problem had to be curbed, right. And the first step that company needed to take was to simply sack all those people who were into corrupt practices, who were hindering the performance of the company. And at the same time, another step was taken, that is implementing the VRS scheme in the company. For those people who were not wanting to work, the company simply asked them to take VRS and leave. Now, when this was announced, what happens? Unions flatly refused to cooperate and also hindered there was simply no non-performance. The workers went on to strike. The performance, whatever least was happening, was also stopped suddenly, right. So, what to do now? Then the company in 1994, the company decided for going in for total overhauling, redesigning of the company. As a result, all the various divisions of the company and the companies under the big Mahindra and Mahindra banner were regrouped into 6 distinct clusters of related business, and each was headed by a president. Mahindra and Mahindra's core activities, that is automotive and tractors, were made autonomous business units, right, and other activities of the group were organized into infrastructure, trade and financial services, telecommunication and automotive components. This whole exercise was done to develop a conceptual map to provide direction for future growth. Workers were already sacked, those who were non-performers were already sacked, plus VRS was already in flow. You do not want to work, take VRS and go, right. So, now the question was, who has to work? So, after initial resistance of workforce, the senior staff started working on the shop floor, right? And the result was amazing. The first signs of BPR became evident. Around 100 senior officers produced 35 engines a day as compared to 1200 employees producing 70 engines in pre-BPR days. After 5 months, the workers ended their strike, began work in exchange for a 30% wage hike, right? And as the situation returned to normalcy, BPR implementation gained momentum. Mahindra & Mahindra realized that it would have to focus on two issues. One, re-engineering the layout and method of working, and second, the productivity. And today, in an interview or after some time after implementing that BPR in the company, Anand Mahindra in an interview said, let me put it in a simple way, if we have facilities in Kandivali today which are not just surviving but thriving, it is all due to BPR. So, likewise there are many examples in the industry. Mahindra & Mahindra is just one of them, right. But yes, sure shot, if this big company, this umbrella company like Mahindra & Mahindra can be benefited by implementing or overhauling their entire process, why not any other company? So, this is the importance of BPR in the organizations. Thank you.